Why are you being a pussy, dude? Drink some of that fucking Captain Morgan.
You have...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of our podcast. Today, Lalo, Juan, Chris, and myself, we will be talking about wrestling and how it impacted our lives, and today's government and how it's impacting our lives.
Boring.
I am a big, and you guys know this, avid wrestling watcher, right? I love wrestling. I don't go around parading it to the world and be like, I have the WWE Network and I watch it, but I do. Because I like
while watching... everybody is responsibly watching porn, you're over there watching wrestling.
I masturbate to wrestling. No, I watch not just WWE. I watch the Mexican ones. I watch, other ones, underground ones. I watch New Japan Pro. So I am an avid watcher, like I not religiously, but I do watch it very consistent.
Chris, did you ever watch wrestling?
Yeah, I was a big Undertaker fan for the longest time.
Did you watch
Till about when?
Fuck.
Till right after the Attitude Era ended, I'm sure.
I don't remember.
Because everybody stopped
before it turned into WWE.
I was never into it, but I remember the few times that we used to go to Mike's house and we were watching all the videos, the old...
No, but that was different, yeah.
I enjoyed doing that. When you tell me, hey, come over, we want to watch wrestling videos, or maybe like a DC.
We saw the best matches, like
only Eddie.
Yeah, the Eddie Guerrero versus JBL, Randy Orton versus Mick Foley. Like, those were the ones that... If you're not a wrestling fan, the Mick Foley or Mankind versus Undertaker, if you're not a wrestling fan, at least you grow some respect for it because you're like,
oh no, because it's funny because you bring that up, and I've actually, I'll sit there and I'm not a current fan because I have no idea. I have no idea who anybody is anymore. I'm out of touch, but like that Hell in the Cell match when I actually showed it to Ceci, the fucking Undertaker Mankind Hell in the Cell match. We watched it and she's like, "Can you find some more like that?" I was like,
"Why didn't you text me? I would have gave you so many links, dude."
I was like,
dude, the Randy Orton versus Mankind or Cactus Jack one, dude. He literally throws him on tacks, dude, and you.
Oh, they do that in that one.
In the Undertaker one.
Oh, did it? Yeah, no. But the fake. Okay, so in that match, like you see Mankind, you see him go through it, but when you see Cactus Jack versus Randy Orton. And Randy Orton goes on the tax, you will see Randy Orton's face goes from acting to, oh my fuck, this is real. That shit is.
That shit is. Tell me about this.
Literally, it went from oh fuck that shit. There's 1,000 tacks in my ass, in my back. In my elbow, like there wasn't a spot on his back that didn't have tacks, dude. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it is fake. The punches and the kicks are fake, but the stunts that these gentlemen pull off, and women, because now even the women are as good or better.
Yeah.
Are as good or better. I have some matches that I could show you that of the women now who are fucking amazing. That I say that was better than most of the pay-per-view of the men shit. Like seriously, and It's one of those things where if you're not a fan, you will at least respect the sport, the sports entertainers, because they do some shit that you're just like, wow. I've always said it. Yeah, I understand it is fake. I know it is fake, but it's not about like what the punches and the kicks. They're professional stuntmen. They're putting on a show.
Yeah,
it's like watching the circus, but with grown ass. Athletic men who fucking throw each other off of roofs and stages and onto. I mean, at least not. I don't know about it now because it's PG now. But in the Attitude Era, when it was cool to watch, when the NWO was out, when the Rock was out, when Stone Cold was out, that time, oh my fucking god, dude, it was one of the best. I mean, till today will always say I'm glad I was able to watch that and live through it, because there will never ever again be a moment in professional wrestling like that. And to live through it as a teen, best time of my life.
Who was that guy? Heartbreak Kid?
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. Wasn't there a match where it was him and another guy?
Oh, here he comes! There he is!
Is that his actual theme song? I love that that's on there.
And the thing about him,
funny that you just bring that up.
How crazy is it? His name is Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that has had, maybe not lately, but because obviously he's retired. But before he retired, he was the man that had the best matches at WrestleMania. Like, if he was on the card for WrestleMania, you knew it was going to be an incredible... Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Oh my God, dude. That was the first ladder match that was... It wasn't the first ladder match, but it was the first, like, major ladder match. And these guys put on a show. And... yes, Razor Ramon had a big part of it, but it was mainly Shawn Michaels because he was the more athletic, the smaller guy.
That's when I used to rent VHS.
Oh my God! I mean, I'm telling you guys,
but wasn't he? There was a match that went for hours because they both didn't agree on the storyline. Who was that? Heartbreak Kid and somebody else.
It wasn't for hours.
That was a Heartman.
No, that was versus Bret Hart. It was it was an Iron Man match.
You know, I remember watching that, and I thought,
it was a WrestleMania match.
I thought because it was like an Iron Man match that was supposed to go. Like
60 minutes.
Yeah, 60 minutes no matter what. Mm-hmm. So the thing is that I thought they were going to tally up pinfalls. I thought they were going to go.
No, that's what it is.
That's what it should have been, right?
But they didn't get any.
They didn't get any.
Yeah,
like,
the whole point,
I thought it should be like 5-2 or maybe keep it like at 3-3 or 4-4, you know.
But the reason why they didn't tally up any was because the whole point behind that was that they were so even and they were so good that not one can get a pinfall on the other one.
I thought I saw a documentary where it was like the two of them disputed on what the storyline was supposed to be.
You're talking about
Screwjob.
You're talking about the Montreal Screwjob.
Okay, who was that?
Dude, that's
Bret Hart
it's Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
I showed so on the WWE network, they have an actual like where they sit them down now.
Yeah.
And they talk about it with JR. Dude, I showed that shit to
Did he die?
No, JR. No, he's just he retired. I'm sure he's almost close to death. Because he's like
more over there than he is over here.
Yeah, he's
one foot in the door.
There's a saying in Spanish like he's more on that side than he is.
Hey, he's a lot closer to that 6 feet than we are.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know, there was one thing when I was growing up as a teen and watching this shit avidly, like every goddamn Monday night. My mom hated it because she would watch her novelas. And at the same time, I was watching the fucking wrestling. We still broke. And at that time, we were even more broke. So we only had one TV. So we would argue about who was going to watch what. And she would be like, mis novelas. And I'd be like, well, think about it like this. That's my novelas because they had storylines. Literally, that's what it was.
It's true, though. It's true.
It was. It was soap operas. It was soap operas for grown men and teenagers at that time.
Tengo que ver qué pasó con Shawn Michaels.
I had to.
You know, back to the point of where people are like, you know, it's fake. Because I was the biggest fan too when I was a kid and everything, and you know, growing up, I would actually argue like when people are like, oh, it's fake. I'm like, no, so are movies. But
sure.
If you want to play, because these are the same people that are like, oh, I'm gonna go watch the next fucking action superhero movie and this and that because it's the explosive and everything. It's like that's fake.
Yeah.
Oh, but what? We know it's fake.
They were more real back then because it wasn't CG.
Whatever. It was still a fake.
But still, I know what you mean.
But Hollywood is. I mean,
you're watching a theatrical stage fight.
If it's
as
on
if
TV,
you're like you're watching a movie that gets a play. You're watching it on stage.
Yeah.
So essentially, what you go to see in a movie theater, you're going to see this live, and it's a stage fight and everything and stuff, but. It's entertainment at the end of the day. It's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it came down to. Because I remember when I was a kid, because I came from Mexico when I was 10, and I got to see Mexican wrestling. And yeah, there's a big difference. There's a big difference.
Absolutely.
But even over there,
I know.
Even over there, it's just theater. But over here, it was the next level because it was actually TV. There was a time where you can actually watch it.
My grandma got me into wrestling. she would watch it and I would like you would like this, and the very first time I went to an event is because she wanted to go. And I'm like, yeah, grandma wants to go, we should take her.
Like a WWF one?
Yeah, my uncle took her and I got to like, cool, she wants to go and I get to come along and stuff, and that was the first. Actually, it was at the San Jose Event Center. Nice. Dude, actually Shawn Michaels actually went into the crowd, and it wasn't like a Monday Night Raw or anything like that.
Called dark shows.
Yeah, but that actually was that one actually, I forgot what event it was, but it was on TV, and I actually was like, whoa, because he actually went into the audience, and you could kind of see me to the right, like very far. And it's like
if that's a fact, dude. If that is a fact, then it was at that time. when pay-per-views before they
it was like a Superstars or some shit.
If it was on the weekend, yes, then it would be Saturday night.
They're all pre-taped too. I mean, but they use that clip. I think at the time they would have like a news kind of network, and they would show clips of these dark, like, what would you call it, dark matches. Yeah. And he came to the audience and stuff. I was like, I was on TV.
Going back to the whole thing about it being fake, since even as a child, I knew, because the only reason I got into it was because one day my dad happened to flip their channels, and unbeknownst to him, he didn't think that I'd catch onto it, and he used to be like, "Oh, you want to watch this?" And I'd be like, "Sure." Right? I was a young kid. I had no idea what it was. I had seen the Mexican wrestlers, but it was a lot less real to me, even though I knew WWF was fake, but the AAA, la AAA, and the CMLL,
El Octagon, La Máscara Sagrada, you know that, right?
They seemed a lot more faker, right? But whatever. And I remember my dad, and the first person that I saw when I first got into it was Hulk Hogan. But in the great words of my father, in the great words of my father, he couldn't say Hulk Hogan. He would call him Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's when I caught on. And I remember the first match I saw from Hulk Hogan was versus not Ted DiBiase. It was something Bundy. Big Bundy or something. It was a big guy.
Big Bundy. It was Big Bundy.
No, it was something Bundy. But it was a cage match. And it was one these days they didn't have the regular cages now. They had like the big square blue like cage. It was so ridiculous. But that was the first match that I saw, and I think it must have been like a SummerSlam if I'm not mistaken. But that was what caught my eye. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was
King Kong Bundy.
There you go. It was like 6'3" and 6'7", 6'6" motherfuckers throwing each other around, big guys, and I was like, this is. And I knew it was fake because you could see when they swing at each other, when they kick each other, it's fake. But I've always told people, don't think of it as if it's fake or not. They're professional stuntmen. Yeah. That's why now they're called World Wrestling Entertainment.
Sports Entertainment. That's why you don't see your average Joe just going up there. No.
Yeah. Well, so to that point, so that's why I brought the Montreal Screwjob up, which for me, I watched it and enjoyed it, but I knew it was kind of fake. But the thing that made it go, oh shit, there's some reality to it where somebody got screwed. I don't remember the details, but I loosely remember it was. I loosely remember it was like someone was to agree to some belt or something, and they just kept going when the cameras were like,
Bret Hart was going to leave the company.
Yeah, Bret Hart was going to WCW because
contracts.
Him and Vince couldn't come to an agreement. So what had happened was they couldn't come to an agreement, and he was the champion, and Vince wanted him to drop the belt to Shawn Michaels in Montreal at a pay-per-view. And he's like, no, man, like, I'm in my hometown. I'm in my home country. Don't ask me to drop it to him in there. And on top of that, him and Shawn weren't on good. Like, Shawn Michaels at that time was a piece of shit. He was young. He was arrogant. He just didn't give a shit, right? And in that
superstar.
Yeah, and rising. In that documentary that's in the WWE, he even says it. Yeah, I was a piece of shit. Like, I understand why Bret Hart didn't want to drop it to me. I was a piece of shit. Why would anybody want to drop it to a arrogant young kid who thinks he's the shit, and not giving respect to the people who paved the way to him? But that's how Shawn Michaels was, and because of that, that's why Shawn Michaels is the person he is now, right? Because if he wasn't that arrogant and that piece of a shit, he wouldn't have put on the shows that he did, right? And acted the way he did.
Dude, Bret Hart's weird though.
Oh, trust me.
Like, I've seen interview. No, that's his brother Owen.
Well,
Owen
I think he's just weird now because he's taking a lot of spills to the dome piece.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Like, yeah, I understand he had a stroke and everything, but dude, you watch interviews and everything like that. I was like, do you ever smile? Do you ever laugh? Like, everything is just a terrible story. Like, how this used to happen and that, and he has like all
that shows you that whatever happens to him, he hasn't been able to move on.
Well, yeah, dude. But even back in the day when he was in his prime,
to the Hall of Fame, he got.
Well, I mean,
he even in that documentary with Shawn Michaels, like, that was the pretty much of.
Have you ever seen Bret Hart laugh?
Yeah, when I was younger, I got to see him once. It was a dark match,
and he was laughing. He laughed?
In a match. How in the fuck was he gonna laugh?
No, but I'm saying, like, in an interview, in a fucking TV spot, anything.
No, because he was
I've never seen. But dude, that's the thing, dude. Like, I've never seen. I'm just saying, like,
Why would he? Because I actually in an interview. If he's
no, but I'm saying like
outside of
a good story, a funny story. I've heard old wrestlers come up with funny stories or drinking stories or
they have personalities.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, personality.
I think the reason why we've never. I don't know. I personally feel like maybe because it ended wrong. So he doesn't have too many good memories, dude.
But what the fuck, dude? He had a long ass career, dude.
Sure, but you got to figure if it ends wrong.
Well,
why
he was probably blowing the money.
Right?
As soon as the money was coming in, he was blowing it.
But with all that money they make, what is their lifestyles really like? Because they're fucking touring and just performing.
They're circus performers. They're circus performers.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. That's so fucking hard.
They're a circus act. That's why I say, dude. They are professional stuntmen. They're a circus act. It's when you go to see these people at the WWE. Or New Japan Pro, Ring of Honor, any of these organizations, you got to realize they're not there to show that they're really hitting each other. It's a show.
Sure.
And I try to get people to understand that all the time. When you sit there and people tell me, oh, it's fake. Yes, it is fake. Absolutely.
It's just
the punches and kicks are fake. But when you're jumping off of a stage, and I mean, that's not fake. You cannot fake. And another thing people don't understand.
They're not landing on a bed.
Yeah, another thing people don't understand is that mat, that ring, isn't soft. Those ropes are not. Those are metal wires.
Yeah.
I've seen a ton of interviews from a million wrestlers who say the one reason why a lot of them almost quit when they first started was because they made them run the ropes. And meaning that they had to literally run from the rope end to end, right? And they wanted to quit because the pain that they felt from doing the ropes and taking the spills on the mat. Some of them got concussions the first time they hit the mat because it's not a soft body.
So a couple of days ago, I was watching a video on YouTube with The Rock. He's doing a motivational video. He's talking about his very last match with.
John Cena,
where he tore like a fat ass muscle from his leg, and he still decided like there was a moment, and he needed to do that for like what, an hour?
I want to talk about hour-long matches. When Ric Flair used to go back in the day, Ric Flair and the Dream, Dusty Rhodes, rest in peace. They went for like months on end. Every night they had an hour match. Every night for like months on end. And you want to talk about not just regular matches. I mean, they had cage matches. They had first blood matches. I mean, matches that would, if we had them, I'd be like, no, dude, I'm not even going to work tomorrow. I mean, I'm sorry. But these guys did it night in and night out. And that's impressive. I don't care who you are. You have to be a professional athlete. You have to
It's your job. Sure. It's a job.
Athletic ability, because even now, when they do pay-per-views, they do them on Sunday, and then here comes Monday Night Raw. I mean, they're getting fucked up. I mean, and maybe not as much now because it's, again, PG. But they're still getting fucked up. They're getting thrown. They're getting tossed around. They're landing outside, which the pad is this thick, which is like an inch. And then there's cement, right? And then you still got to come out on Monday night. And if you're a champion, you come out on Monday night and defend your title again. I mean, I know I can't do that. I can't even get on my knees now, trip and get on my knees and go to work tomorrow. That's literally impossible.
I got to take the whole week off.
Straight out. And these motherfuckers are taking bumps and spills, tossed outside, and going back on Monday.
What were you saying that one time? Somebody got hurt, like yawning? Who the fuck was that? It was we were talking shit about getting old or some shit like that. It's like,
I think it was a comedian that we were watching on TV, and he's like, fuck is he talking about? He said, I yawned and got fucking a back injury from yawning, dude.
Jesus Christ. Well, so all these athletes, again, I'm not taking away that they're athletes. Their schedules are grueling. Do they get to enjoy their life? To get that size, you have to train. Steroids or no steroids, you still train to get that big. So how much time do they really have to themselves? And you see all these people like John Cena, like The Rock. They're trying to break out into another industry. They're all trying to do. It's all entertainment. But they go into movies. They go into TV shows.
Yes, honestly, I think a lot of these athletes, their retirement plan is going to the movies.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, think about it. Why wouldn't these
like NFL players go to broadcasting?
Hold on, though.
Do they?
Coaching and broadcasting.
But why wouldn't these wrestlers do movies? They're already acting.
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
No, what I'm saying is they're already acting. If you think about it, they're acting out a story. They're acting.
They're already actors.
They're actors. So why wouldn't you be an actor?
I'm agreeing with that.
You're just giving them an extended dialogue.
Exactly.
It makes me
Hence why I mean I don't mean to cut you up, but why The Rock is last year I think was one of the highest paid actors. John Cena just made that new Bumblebee movie. I mean, he just made another movie with Jackie Chan back in China. So
what the?
It's a secret project that he was doing with Jackie Chan. But I'm saying, and why not? I mean, these guys are already acting, and they're professional actors.
Sure.
Because you're telling them go out there and put your personal life, don't think anything of it at times, and fucking and act. And on top of that, you got to jump off the steel cage and land on the table. And don't kill yourself.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. What it makes me question or wonder is, it's like, how bad is it that that's what they're looking forward to? Like you
got to understand. Most of these guys now, and even and of all time, that are professional wrestlers, that are going through it, you got to understand their first love is being a professional wrestler and being a professional entertainer, right? But there comes a time where they realize, listen, I can't keep doing this for the rest of my life because my body is going to give out eventually. It is, no matter what. It's going to happen, right? Because your body can only take so many spills and bumps. It is what it is. But what's the best next thing? I'm already acting. Right? Why not do movies, right? And on top of that, you got to remember most of these wrestlers don't really save their money. They really don't.
I asked that question.
It's been well documented that
they live like rock stars.
A lot of these
NFL players.
A lot of these professional wrestlers,
no long-term plan.
They don't have 401ks. I mean, let's be realistic. They don't have any retirement plans because that's not what the industry is about. It's about the moment and what you do with the moment. Now, people like The Rock, people like John Cena, Stone Cold, Steve Austin tried it.
All these guys have podcasts too.
Yeah, he does. Oh, dude, Steve Austin's podcast is pretty good.
But so my question wasn't really like needing an answer. It was more rhetorical, more a comment on. Imagine the lives these people live because obviously they love the thing they do, but it's like. It is such a short-term plan, and the things that we do for entertainment to break out into another industry, it was like a platform to something else.
Well, it helps when you have a big fan base.
Exactly. I mean, that's how you launch.
And
your
think
careers.
about it. That lifestyle only goes as far as your body can take.
Yeah, it's
because a perfect example was Edge. I forget what his real name is, but Edge had to retire soon because he got a big neck injury. He has to find another thing. So what the cool thing about WWE the cool thing about WWE is they're kind of like the NFL. They employ they give work to a lot of these former wrestlers. Like behind the scenes, a lot of people don't understand because you don't see them on TV anymore. Doesn't mean that people aren't working. Road Dogg, Jesse James. He's a producer.
A lot of them go to production.
Devon Dudley. He's a producer. So what they do is they give you a bunch of new wrestlers now and they be like, listen, I'm going to give you 6 wrestlers. You guide them through their careers. You tell them what's right, what's wrong, what they need to do, what they don't need to do. And you're a producer. That's what you do. Road Dogg the same. And these are guys that you saw during TV. Like, you would never in a million years think they wear tuxedos and suits. And you see them now, because being an avid watcher, you see them now, you're like, is that Road Dogg? Is that Devon in a fucking suit? Like, what the fuck is going on here? But that's what they have to do, because they're professionals now. You know, they're grown men who are teaching the young guys coming up, and girls, showing them the way. But that's I know a lot of people hate on WWE for what it's worth and what it is now. But one thing I can't hate on Vince and the WWE is he takes care of his people. And anybody that you can ask, except for a few wrestlers who may have had an outing with the company and them, but there isn't too many. Everybody says this guy, I mean, Scott Hall, he went into rehab a bunch of times. And guess who paid for most of those? WWE and Vince McMahon.
You know what tripped me out is Billy Corrigan, the singer of Smashing Pumpkins. Mm-hmm. He owns a wrestling company.
Sure.
Some Smashing Pumpkins money fucking is put into some
what company? The thing is, once you become rich, the best thing to do is to invest in something else that's making money.
Yeah. Do you know anything about that company? That wrestling...
I've heard of it. Like, I've heard of him doing that, but I don't know what company it is.
Hey, you know what? I actually, speaking of all this, I actually went to WrestleMania 30.
I know,
that was
I'm
here.
So jealous.
Dude, talk about nostalgia, dude. Like, you fucking go, and there are fucking, I mean, WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl. So you go in, and, you know, they're filling up stadiums with, you know, 70,000 people. And you walk in there, and there's just people dressed up like throwback shit, like fucking Macho Man. In Levi Stadium. Yeah, Levi Stadium. It was actually the first time. I was very curious because I wanted to see what the stadium looked like inside. And it was actually, Mike had gotten a suite, and he was like, dude, he texted me, he goes, do you have any interest in going to WrestleMania? I was like,
which, putting that on record, Mike, I hate you that you didn't call me for that, because I am a watcher and you didn't call me. But fuck you anyways. Continue.
I can show you pictures if you want.
No, fuck him. And fuck you too. Mike, next time I see you, shit on your face.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Mike, next time I see you, shit on your face.
Next time you're on the podcast.
Just letting you know.
It was fucking cool.
Your chin,
but it was
right now. Next time I see you, Mike.
As a matter of fact, look at this.
You know what? Sit your monkey ass down, bitch.
No. As a matter of fact,
he's got a belt. For those,
I have one of these fucking WWF belts that are like back in the day.
No,
and I use this for other purposes.
One is actually,
but
let's not speak on why he's got.
It's
sometimes a man wears tights. It's for fun.
No, you don't understand. If we talk about that belt and why he's got it, he would get his ass whooped.
But the thing, like, it's funny because I look at this as like, as a kid, I wanted this. This was like my, I want this. This is like the championship belt. You look at the motherfuckers that go to fucking WrestleMania now. They have like the real deal motherfucker. Like, they look like somebody could grab it off of them and go put it right in the ring. It looks exact like, dude.
And you know how much
fucking gold plated, full fucking heavy duty fucking
and you know
leather.
How much those belts are?
Yeah, they're like hundreds of dollars.
$400 a piece.
And people have them, dude. Like fucking, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm telling you, you could fucking sit there.
This one specifically is This is the one from the 80s. This is the one that Hogan had.
It's the best one.
Well, not the 80s, but like early 90s. This is the Golden Eagle one.
Don't touch my belt, please.
Don't touch my belt.
By the way,
fuck your belt. By the way, I'll throw you through some tax for this.
Right through the podcast table. Just, God, dude.
Fucking dare me, bitch. I'm ready to go.
The government shut down. I feel like what the government is now on media is WWE for people that don't watch fighting or adult entertainment. It's the same fucking thing. You've got a character like Trump that comes out there. He's got his own fucking theme. He's got his own.
He's got a very
attitude.
Fucking good point and stuff because people.
I'm not trying to derail the conversation.
No, I completely agree. I completely understand what you're talking about.
It's like people know that his whole presidency is like fake, but they're still supporting him because they like the show. They want to know.
That's why earlier I said I don't give a fuck.
but I understand that you don't give a fuck. But
I mean, I do care, but I don't care to talk about it because
it is that ridiculous joke, that you actually like. I see stuff in the media that happens now, and I go, we are living in a fucking live episode of South Park.
It really is. Yeah.
It's really like holy shit.
All Trump is doing is giving material for Family Matters.
It's that kid,
Family Guy, and fucking South Park. That's what he's doing.
It's that kid that fucking if I was president, I would do this, and that's exactly what he's doing. You're just like, yeah, you would look at a kid, you go, yeah, but that's not the way it works in the real world, and fucking he's in there going, yeah,
this is exactly how it works.
His whole presidency is like a Seinfeld episode. It's all about nothing.
Yeah, dude. You know what? I actually had when we were talking about the government shutdown the other day and the whole because of the wall thing. It's a very complicated issue, and I understand that. What I was telling my girlfriend was like, you know what it is? This is what it comes down to. This is full reality right here. What he's doing is he just wants something. It's an ego thing. He wants something that eternally is gonna be put.
On record,
it's one of those things that's gonna be standing for a long time. Yeah, he's making his literal physical mark. That's all it is. He doesn't give a fuck.
He's just
about
trying to
justice.
He's just trying to say, listen, I was in presidency, and this is what I did.
Yeah.
Just another building.
This will forever stand. This is aside from
when people talk about the wall, it's Trump.
Yeah,
that's his mark. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. He's trying to make his mark.
And you know what?
Don't give a shit.
He would be the type to actually put his fucking name on it. If he could physically and literally put his fucking
even though
name
he knows
on
it's bullshit, even though he knows this is the stupidest shit ever. But you know what? I will be remembered one way or another. And I'm not going to be remembered as a failure. I'm going to be remembered as a guy that, yes, I failed at a lot of things, but I got this stupid ass wallet.
Wasn't he on WWE?
No, trust me.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Fuck.
What?
He was on WWE.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he bought Raw one time.
Trust me. He made already his marking history, good or bad.
Yeah,
Most
it's the
bad.
stupidest president we have, but that's not.
Yeah.
That's not what you're
He's gonna live forever.
Yeah.
Even
That's not enough. He needs to have a physical something that his ego can go and physically touch and go, yeah.
He's an egoistic narcissist motherfucker.
No shit.
That guy is gonna live on forever.
Yeah.
People will remember him in 200 years. People are gonna remember him more than the first Bush.
You know what's funny is that I thought that there couldn't be any dumber president than the son Bush, right?
Wow.
This guy came in and said,
He's making.
The funny that you say that.
This guy said, "Hey, Bush, move out the way.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
I'm the one,
dude. And for real, I fucking said, there are some times in life where you go, don't say. There's actually a rule, I don't know where I heard this, but it's like there's a rule where you go, when something's bad, you're just like, how could this be any worse?
Hold my beer.
Yeah. And life or whatever, the fucking life will show you, like, it could get worse. Because I thought when obviously the second Bush was in office and the whole war in Iraq started and then Afghanistan, all the shit, I thought, how could this get any worse?
Yeah.
And then Trump goes along and he's literally a caricature.
Dude,
a caricature.
Even he knew he wasn't gonna. He didn't even want to win, dude. That night that he won,
he wasn't prepared. Yeah,
he was just doing it for publicity.
Dude, I remember that. I remember that fucking. It was my fucking birthday too, and I was like,
no wonder it was the worst.
We were out to eat. We're out to eat, and there was like screens showing the thing, and it's showing the election, and I go, oh my god, he's actually ahead. And because it was like the electoral college votes and stuff, and my uncle's like, dude, there's still a lot of time to go because we met up for dinner and stuff.
And Trump said, I was like, beer.
And I was like, yeah, listen. I was just kind of like, listen, wow, this is I couldn't believe he'd be ahead at all. And
he didn't either.
And
you look at his face
in the electoral college, obviously not in the popular vote and stuff. And I was just thinking, because reality is this. Reality is, as much as people wanted. Like, this is what was going to happen. And, dude, I'm sorry for all the fucking people that fucking didn't think that this was going to happen. One of the things that hit me was, like, we weren't going to have a third Democratic president. In terms of...
But it goes in cycles typically. It's always, like, 2 for 2.
Yes. And that's the thing. And that's the thing.
Yes.
It's just bad luck that it just so happened to be fucking Trump that happened to be in the seat to go, okay, the next... Because I feel like this was going to happen. Barack Obama, Obama was going to be, okay, he got elected, and then he got elected for a second term. The thing is that there was not going to be a third consecutive Democratic term. So the next, whoever the fuck had out there, it was going to be Republican. Yeah. And that's the way our society, our democracy keeps balance of power of what's going to keep going and stuff. So I thought it's just our bad luck that it just so happens to be a ridiculous over-the-top character.
But that's what I mean, that it's WWE.
Yeah.
If you want proof that we're living in a simulation, I mean, what more do you need than Jesus fucking Christ?
It's an episode of South Park. I'm telling you, it's an episode of fucking South Park.
When you think you got life figured out, it will throw you curveballs. We really don't know what the fuck to expect. Like, who would have thought that's where we're at right now? So again, I didn't mean to derail it from the initial conversation, but it just goes to show, I think people...
Yes, you did, bitch.
God damn it.
Let me ask you something, and I'm really curious because, Lalo, prepare yourself because I'm going to ask you the question because that's what we do in this podcast.
Yeah.
We fix the world's problems.
One beer at a time.
But who's listening?
And then the computer shuts down.
Yeah.
It's still good. We're good, right?
Only
We're
people
sitting
who
there... And we solve the world's problem. Hey, you got a question? We got all the solutions here.
Only people who listen are the smart ones.
Yeah. We got all the solutions here, but nobody fucking pays attention to us. We got all the world's solutions.
But my question is,
Lalo, obviously being a very close and very personal topic of what immigration is, what do you think is the solution? Because it's a very complex thing.
Solution to what specifically?
Immigration. You literally, do you think you can let everybody in?
No, you cannot let everybody in. But then again, not everybody is coming here. That's the biggest lie. You know, Trump right now has been saying like, well, we're the country that's making the most money, so that's the reason why people. And I have always said, if you want to solve the problem, you gotta solve the problem from the roots of the problem. You cannot solve the problem somewhere in the stem of the tree or whatever, or the stump of the tree, because it's gonna keep growing. The reason why a lot of people, like people from Central America, are migrating over here is because we fucked with their governments in the 70s, like the Contra. That's during Reagan.
Which Contra was a great game.
No, but you have
you
have the U.S. that fucked with a lot of governments during the 70s and the 80s.
True. Yeah.
Did you say Reagan? Reagan was in the 80s.
No, but he was the one of the last ones, because he was during the Contra whole thing, where he was actually selling drugs back to the streets in order to fund his program. Amazing, so when people talk about the 80s, like, you know, the war against drugs, it's kind of like, well, you're creating the war, and then you want to. It's kind of like you're creating that disease, and then you want to sell the cure.
Sell us the cure. Yeah.
That's basically what the whole Contra thing was. So solve the problem. You fucked with so many governments in Central America and part of.
Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm gonna do this. Okay.
Do it.
Let's just say I have a magical button that goes, "Hey, Lalo, you're gonna fucking you're I'm gonna instantly go into this parallel universe where you have the power to solve this. How would you solve it?"
There's so much nuance in that question, though. There's so many things.
No, I'm not talking to you, Chris.
Chris,
you're looking for a one question answer.
When we say woman, please speak up, that's when you talk.
God,
otherwise, shut the fuck up.
You got a button for that? Yeah.
Chris, when we say please women speak,
I am a senator.
I am the senator, and this is how I would do it. I would punch and then punch and then punch some more.
You know what? Yeah, okay, but my point being, it's such a complex question, complex theory that I go, okay.
No, well, I have an answer. Look, so right now, Trump wants to spend.
Hold on. Before you answer, don't just and I'm just saying this. Don't just answer it in a way that it's
politically correct,
convenient to you.
No.
And I know. I'm just saying.
I'm going perfect world scenario.
Hold on. I'm saying this so that the audience as well is listening.
No,
that it's not. You're not just being biased. You're answering untruthfully, and how this is really going to help not just you but everybody.
Not
just the Mexicans, not just the Latin community, the Latino community. I'm talking about everybody who is trying to come, because there's not only the Latinos are struggling to get in. There's other races that are trying to get in, and they struggle as well.
And okay, in that sense, I am going to be a little biased because I can't speak for people outside of Latin America, because I don't know what's the politics in India, Philippines, Korea.
Technically, it should be the same.
Well, isn't it the point that those countries have an easier time to get visas and all that? In reality, we're saying in reality.
The thing is, when we talk about immigration policies, it's really complex because a lot of countries have been fucked by the U.S. in different ways, and so you cannot treat everybody the same way because you fuck with other countries more than you others. So,
point taken.
Like, we bombed Japan. Are we gonna be really? We're not really strict with them because we fucking bombed Japan.
Hey, listen, that was a long time ago.
But it's.
Why you gotta bring up bullshit?
But I can only.
Gotta bring up bullshit.
I can only speak
about the present and the future.
But I'll give you this.
I can't.
That was a joke for any Japanese listeners. I'm not.
That happened to be Japanese too.
So I can't only.
Mario is Japanese. I thought he was Italian. He's not. He's Japanese. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
But honestly, when it comes to Latin American people, Trump wants $5.7 billion for the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. How about we allocate that money to hire more immigration judges, right? So they have enough resources to sort out this person deserves to come in, this person doesn't deserve. Yeah, it shouldn't be like a blanket thing where like, okay, you got in the country by this date.
I just gotta. That is very good. That is a very good point.
Well, trust me, from somebody who
no, that is a very good point, because you're literally going to from an archaic fucking thought that, hey, just put something physical there. You know, it's like how about you put 5.7 billion to go to put in a fucking immigration department of lawyers. No,
absolutely, because trust me, speaking from somebody who's dealt with this with personally with my family, yes, absolutely, because there's a lot of flaws. There really is, and actually living it and going through it and seeing it, tons of flaws, and they need help. They need help because it's not as cutthroat as sometimes as people make it seem to
clear
like,
cut.
It's not like there's different people and different cases, and different people deserve different situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you got these countries in Central America, South America, where the government maybe their economy is not as great as even Mexico, right? And that's why this is the reason why people migrate. People don't migrate just because one day, like, you know what? No, people migrate because they gotta go to work. You know, I went to school and there's no job for me. What the hell am I gonna do now?
Because I'll tell you like this: all the Latinos from Mexico, from Central America, even from South America that come to the U.S., they're not coming because I just want to go see America. No, they're coming here because of the American, quote unquote, the American dream and the money that is supposedly being made here. Right. I mean, and let's be realistic. Your parents, Juan, came here for that. Yeah. Even your parents, Chris, came here for that. Lalo, your mom came here for that. My parents came here for that. They didn't come here because they said, damn it, I want to go to Disneyland, and because it looks amazing on TV, I want to go. No, they came here because they were hungry, because they wanted a better future for us.
Well, that's the beautiful idea, I guess, of democracy, that we're the experiment of let's put everybody together and figure it out.
Don't put the label democracy, because Mexico is a democratic government. Yeah. Guatemala is democratic. But it's the way you run it. Sure. That's why... Well, continue.
What I meant was... It's a corrupt democratic, but it's a democratic.
It's not I'm not questioning anything. What it is a comment more on... So, this is the sugar-coated idea that America seems to be the poster boy for, is let's everybody come together and you can all share ideas. But to run that common thread through everything, back to even WWE or WWF, it's like, to keep you occupied on an issue or something, let's keep you entertained with something else that keeps you thinking about something and not the actual issue.
Well, the Romans
That's
did the
what
same
I mean.
Thing.
Exactly. That's why you're absolutely right. Romans had those fucking gladiator battles and all that shit. And it kept the people excited,
distracting from the real reason or the real issue.
From really what was going on, which back in the Roman days.
And that's what Trump is doing. He's doing all this fucking crazy ass shit to keep people distracted from
what I don't think Trump is that top person. He's just another manifestation of the same thing. Yes. Where he's another player in the bigger game.
Or in other words, he's just a puppet.
I don't know if there's an actual game being played by
him. He is a puppet. He is a puppet. Because he doesn't... Nothing that he's saying and doing, I think... Listen. Everybody and anybody can agree that he's a piece of shit. Dude, he's a puppet. He's being told...
You know who owns him? Ratings, because he's looking to see whatever.
Hence why he's always tweeting that social media.
I actually have the thing with Trump, right? He's like that crazy fucking kid that just says whatever's on his mind, that has no filter, right? Yeah. So the Republican Party they go, you're never gonna get in and stuff, right? Yeah. So let's say whatever you want. Use this analogy of this little kid. You're in high school and this kid's gonna get you. There's a really poppin' party, right? This kid's gonna get you in the, or this kid thinks, dude, I could get us in there. And these other guys are like
they use them.
No, you're not gonna get in. Trust me, I've been to places like this, and you're not gonna get in and stuff, right? He's like, dude, I could fucking get in, right? He's crazy. He's one of these guys like, I'm just fucking crazy. I'm just gonna go off the handle and stuff, right? So he actually gets in, right? The thing is that he shocked the fucking world when he fucking gets in because of what I said, that the government wasn't gonna allow another democracy party as president and stuff, right? So it just so happens that he was gonna get in and stuff, right? So now what Republicans I feel are doing are going, holy shit, he got in. Hey, now we're in this party, right? I'm going back to the analogy of the party, right? Now we just got into this high school party. Hey, dude, now ask for beer. Ask for beer.
We're in.
Well,
We're in now. And then. But before this whole wall thing happened, stuff, right? They were like, well, then ask for this because we've always trying to kind of try to get this and stuff.
But now he's
like, sure, I will. And then now he's gone too far. He's gone too far to the point where he's like, holy shit. The kid got us into the party, but now you kind of realize how crazy this fucking kid is, and he's gonna get us all in trouble, dude.
No, here's the thing: the kid got us in the party. Now he had a few drinks. Now he's drunk and he's doing some crazy shit. So are we gonna say that he's one of us?
But we're in the party. We're in the house party. What do we do?
He's over there throwing up in the corner. Fuck that! I ain't claiming that guy.
But we're in the house party.
It's kind of like when
we're in, but I'm not gonna say because of him.
It's like these guys throwing up. Hey, didn't he come with you? Like I don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know him. Yeah.
No, we're just in.
Because at first it was like doing these little policies, like the fucking whole travel ban. That was the Republican Party. Hey, why don't you just ask for this because we're already in. No, you might as well ask for beer. And then there's a cool bottle of liquor. It's like, hey, dude, get a shot. It's like Dakota Pipeline and the fucking the
tax cut.
The tax cut, the fucking the travel ban, like I said. And it wasn't to the point where now this kid's having a good time at the party. Now he's fucking drunk. Now you go, holy fuck. Now we gotta deal with it.
He's having too much fun.
Yeah, now he's too much. Now everybody's looking at like the world, like looking at the Republicans, like
this is what you brought in.
Hey, did
you
come in with this fool?
They're like, no, wait. We brought him in, but we didn't think he was gonna be a fool.
Unfortunately, there's still not enough people saying that. Like I don't know this guy.
They're still going on with the craziness because there's like. We could just kind of like, this is kind of what we want, but we could blame his fucking crazy.
Well, at the end of the day, I think that they're still. I think that they're still going along with him because they don't want to lose the power. They don't want to. There
is a lot of bullshit too,
and that's
that no matter what, he's on our team, which what we were talking about last time with the whole tribalism thing. As long as we maintain
the presidency, I know he's saying some crazy shit. I know he's doing crazy shit. But he's still Republican.
Yeah,
and that's
I can't go against that. No matter what, I can't go against it.
There's gonna be a time where there's gonna be a moment where even Republicans, and I'm sure it's already happened, where they're like,
"Well, yeah,
damn, dude, this guy, man, like he's really like he was cool the first hour of this party, but he had a Jack shot, he had a Captain Morgan, and he had like 5 IPAs. Now he's fucked up. Now he's saying stupid shit. Now everybody's looking at us like." You guys are fucking with this guy? Like,
isn't this your friend? And you're kind of go,
he's just drunk. Leave him alone.
Not really. Because you got all these investigations going on with him and all this shit. So they don't want to kind of fess up to all this. They don't want to fully. Because there are even Republicans that go, dude, this was tripping.
Yes, I know. Trust me. I know a few of them at work. I know a few of them at work. They're like, no, man, he's not one of us. And like I said, I know a few Republicans at work. They're not the biggest, right? But they still consider themselves Republicans. They'll be like, man, that's your president, right?
Let me tell you.
But he sets a precedent now. Like, this is the thing.
Let me tell you something,
here's
dude.
the baseline.
So when Trump was still running for president, he came to San Jose. I don't know if you guys know that.
Good God.
I actually was there at the rally.
Who'd you beat up?
Don't
lie.
I was on the side.
Don't lie.
I was on the side of the hotel.
You're a liar. You beat up some white boy.
No, but
picking on
my
white.
whole
Let me just go micro point right there. That shit doesn't help either.
No, I know. I agree. My whole point is, I was surprised of how many white people were there, and it's like.
Well, let's not just say white people. Just
there were Indian people.
Most of them were white.
There were Indian people.
Let's not out
people. It's just a mindset.
Not out white people, but yes, there's
a mindset.
The major ones were white people.
Yeah,
but it was surprising to see them in San Jose, which is a very diverse, progressive city.
It's surprising that it's still
here.
And
it's like, wait, we're not as diverse, and we're not as progressive as we think we are here. We really
you gotta keep in mind too that a lot of these people have, especially now and today. That's what I'm saying. That's where I was going. It's like, dude, they are fucking coming. These are the fucking people that are buying new homes here that have these Republican ideals and all that because
it works for them.
Yeah, because yes, they're making more money. Mm-hmm. We are in a market where, dude. not anybody can afford a house. So obviously you have a lot of money here. So although you may think, oh yeah, it's progressive and everything, there's a lot of fucking people there that in their mind have a lot to lose. So they're not gonna go with the Democratic, fucking candidate. They're gonna go with somebody like a Republican, and it just so happens to be Trump. But also, besides all the monetary situations that happen, also too, we're going into a very hypersensitive kind of society where he's very politically incorrect, and there are people that can appreciate that. Yeah. You know what? And that is. I can't. No matter how fucking much we don't like him, there are opinions in this room.
The only thing I'll tell you right now, the only thing I can appreciate about Trump is that he speaks his mind. That's the only thing I really can say about. And hear me out. Do I think that what he says is right when he speaks out his mind? Absolutely not. But the fact that the man is not afraid to speak his mind, I like that. And I wish,
but we're so hypersensitive,
and I hope that him speaking his mind would have been for a better cause. Okay, but the fact that he's speaking his mind, that honestly, let's be realistic. That's the president we need. Somebody who speaks his mind, who doesn't give a shit about all this other nonsense. But he's speaking his mind on some crazy shit, and that's the problem.
This is the kind of honest talk that I was hoping we would get in the fucking podcast.
And not for a second, and not for a minute should anybody think that I'm a Trump supporter, because I am not. Yeah. I think he's the biggest idiot that we have as a
fundamentally
president.
As a value.
But fundamentally, like you said, Chris, I love the fact that he speaks his mind. Whether it's right or wrong, and most, I think, at least in this one, we can agree that he's wrong.
He's not using that power.
And the right, yeah, exactly. He's not using it for the right. Okay, at least what we think is right? And maybe in his mind he thinks is right. Whatever.
But to tie it back,
but the man is at least speaking his mind. He's saying, you know what? Fuck the system. I'm gonna say what I think I need to say, and I'm gonna say what I want to say, and that's great. But he's saying some stupid shit.
Yeah, he is. But to tie it back to the original point, or connecting the dots. Back to the entertainment world, WWF, government. It's like, it is all a lot of show. He is, to me, kind of like, and I might be using a wrong analogy here, but someone like a Heartbreak Kid who is outside of the game, but is creating this traction that turns it into this D-Generation X. Like, you change the format or the landscape of the thing that it is. So WWE was entertainment, sports entertainment. This government, all the things that we see or watch or whatever is happening to us, sure, it does affect us because it is the working machinations of what governs the people. But at the end of the day, it's all entertainment.
It is.
And to finish the point is, back to what you were saying initially, where fundamentally, do we need to be more honest about what's happening? Right. Absolutely. So here is someone who is this like glitch in the matrix.
It's just unfortunate that he's honest on things that I'm not happy
that we're not aligned with. Yeah. But that is what happens because we all don't
appreciate the fact that he is.
That's the point. That's the point that I was going with, though. With everybody being so hypersensitive and this and that, and I'm offended at this, and I'm offended at that. And honestly and unfortunately, there are some times where I see stuff that's on the news or stuff that's in the media, and I go where people are too hypersensitive. They go, oh, this is terrible, and this is that, and this and that. I was like, dude, this is what you got to complain about. This is what makes Trump supporters, because they go, I am fucking definitely not agreeing with this.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're gonna go with something more brash, something more quote unquote tougher, something more honest in terms of, dude, honestly, are we, yeah, and that going back what you said, Asalo, it's like, I'm not a Trump supporter either, but the fucking fact that there are fucking things that when their society gets too fucking hypersensitive, people go, I'm not on their page of being hypersensitive, so therefore their alternative is to go that way, and it just so happens to be Trump. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for whatever he is and everything, and everything has, how incompetent he seems to be at this, it's really, it really goes to the point where he's you can't agree with everything he says, because right now he's fighting for this fucking wall, which is a fucking archaic idea.
It's an abomination.
People fucking show him.
Stupid.
Dude, it's like, you really think that fucking people crossing are bringing over these fucking drugs in their fucking pocket? No, these are underground tunnels.
I have to admit, some of it is. But
the majority
part of it,
they're coming through legal. They're coming through legally in cars.
So he was in Texas, yesterday, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
One of the persons that was doing a presentation
showed him a tunnel.
I told him, these are tunnels. Did he bother to mention that? Of course not, because it went out one night.
Because back to what I said, it doesn't fucking matter. What he wants is a physical attribute to himself.
He just wants to be remembered one way or another.
A legacy. He's heartbreak kidding this fucking thing. He wants a legacy.
He's gonna leave a legacy, and even if that's the most ridiculous thing in the world, which is that fucking wall, because he fails to realize that the drugs aren't coming in through regular land. They're coming in underground.
That's my point. It's like
that's not what he's worried about. He's worried about
just a legacy.
What am I going to leave behind when I get impeached or whatever else may happen? What am I going to leave behind as the Trump stamp?
Well, other presidents will leave over like for instance, like Reaganomics and Obamacare.
Don't make up words, man.
and Obamacare, these terms that come up there like are forever going to be in. Well, he's like, that's not enough. What I need is something physical that people can go up and touch, and this is going to be something that's better than a statue, because I can make myself a statue. I'm rich enough to make a statue. What I'm going to do is fucking put something that is like
remember,
the
Great Wall of China.
Because what do we know? We know walls. We know the Great Wall of China. We know fucking the Berlin Wall,
which by the way broke down.
Hey, the Israelis and Palestinians, they have a fucking wall that separates them too and stuff, right? So what he wants
at the cost of what?
Exactly. It doesn't matter if it works or not. He wants to be able to be like, I physically fucking put this shit up, and everybody will remember this. It's an ego thing. It's purely an ego thing.
He's peeing on his tree. Like that. That is what that is.
Yeah.
But to tie that line again back to World WWF, it's still a form of weird entertainment. We like to hear what's happening. We like to know what's going on in the world. Do we actually have some sort of influence on it? I know a vote counts for something, but I still have a hard time understanding what that is. I'm a 36-year-old fucking adult in this San Jose, California, who, the state that we are, it's a blue state. It's kind of obvious where we fucking lean to, what that affects with this electoral college, all this stuff. You just go, huh. I choose to, like Salo, he's in the bathroom right now. When government comes up, I don't check out. I want to know what's happening, but I get why someone checks out as soon as the conversation goes that way.
Voting does count. Do you guys know that?
I vote. I get that.
This last election, only a third of Santa Clara County voted.
Okay.
So, and I talked to Juan about this. Maybe when it comes to the grand scheme of things, like next president or senator, maybe that thing doesn't matter. But when it comes to local stuff,
your sphere of influence,
that shit really does matter. Yeah. So because that's the stuff that's going to immediately affect.
Absolutely,
you.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean by sphere of influence. What affects. And we're in a culture right now where there's so much discord, unhappiness, that I wonder why people are so angry, is because I don't know if they're aware of that sphere of influence, because it's like
part of it is because it's self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. People are wondering, like you're saying, people are why is this? Why are my taxes going to that? Why? Like, did you vote? Well, no. Like I said, only 1/3 of Santa Clara County voted.
Yeah.
And one of the measures that affects, now my wife, she's a teacher. The county of Santa Clara cannot help teachers for housing.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. You're what?
Which I think is a bunch of fucking bullshit.
You're what, Lalo?
You're who?
My wife.
One more time. I gotta hear it one more time.
For the record.
Say it one more time.
My wife.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, we should congratulate my good. One of my brothers.
We did that last time if you were here.
I wasn't here, bitch. Sorry, but I'm here now. Congratulations.
Cheers.
I'm very happy for you, and I don't mean to cut it off, but I'm very happy for you, Lalo. His wife. Continue.
Well, hey, but you know what? Exactly to the point where you're saying, and I actually got into a fucking not an argument, but I actually told a coworker of mine who was Mexican too. I fucking told him at the last election when he was we were talking about voting in the office, and I told him, dude, did you vote? And he said no. And he goes, dude, Hillary was gonna win this fucking state anyway and stuff, right? I'm like, dude, resigned himself to not only, I go, dude, you as the other fucking Mexican besides me that's in our fucking department and probably our fucking company, you know, I'm like, dude, do you realize that you just kind of fucking threw your vote? You fucking, I know you know somebody that cannot fucking vote. You fucking went and you threw away your fucking vote. You really fucking did. You threw it away. And not only is it, you know, the president election is what it is. It is what it is. But also, do you realize that there are things in the fucking ballot that affect you locally?
Yeah,
that's not this fucking, that's not Santa Cruz County. That's not other counties. It's Santa Clara County. And it affects our jobs. Fucking, dude, me and my girlfriend went through the whole fucking ballot, and there was one thing that actually there was one measure in there, and I, off the top of my head, I don't remember what it is, but it actually didn't affect her, but it affected me because I'm in the construction industry.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, it will affect the work that I get. It was like modernization of the local schools and stuff, right? And she's like, well, I don't want to vote because it's going to raise the property taxes. But I'm like, I kind of want to vote for it because it means more money for my industry. Because there were modernized schools and, you know, shit like that. It was like one of the only ones that we voted differently. We voted differently. Everything else, we kind of agreed upon policies. But that's what I told this coworker. I was like, you realize that there are other shit besides Hillary and Trump. Like, there are stuff that will affect you directly.
Yeah.
Directly.
Yeah.
So I fucking tell fucking people, especially because I know illegal immigrants and I know fucking people that cannot vote, and I go, I will vote. I will be the voice of the voiceless because I have the privilege of voting. I have the privilege of voting, so fucking vote, dude, because that shit will affect you, whether it's personally, it's like what you guys were saying right now. It affects you directly.
Yeah.
So just fucking vote already.
That was my reason for bringing it up, is sphere of influence. Your what you can affect is a certain space around you, your family, your friends, your local government, the things that happen. So I feel like as a society, there's a lot of people that maybe are so angry, activated, they just throw their hands up in the air because there's a bigger picture that they don't want to deal with, and they check out immediately. But it comes back down to personal accountability for that sphere of influence that you have. If you are not happy, change that about yourself, and then you can start moving outward, making that sphere bigger, coming back to those like issues like voting, like those things that affect the local ballot, those things. So, you know, to just bring it back around, I get that it's one giant show, but I think there's an unhappiness. What does that say about the human condition that we just want to check out? And there are different things that entertain us. There are different things that are preoccupying us. People are paying attention to whatever's happening with the bigger government. There are people paying attention to things that don't matter, like Hollywood. Come back. What I want to point out, or not point out, but just the reason I bring it up is personal accountability for the self. Because once you start to decide for yourself your own happiness, things go out from there. Figure that out first. And that bubble, that sphere of influence goes further out, and you start to affect things around you.
I actually wanted to say something here, though. Do you realize in this hyper society that what you just said is a very Republican thing to say?
I get that. And I'm not a Republican.
Yeah.
I'm very moderate in the middle, but
I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say it was wrong because I actually agree. What's very politically incorrect for us to say, it's like it's fucked up because you go, oh, well, if you're Republican, you think this way. If you're Democratic, you think that way and stuff. But
you can't have mentality of one or the other. You have to have one or the other. You can't be even.
But I would like in this room is like, honestly, because I have arguments. My sister's a fucking brilliant woman, and she's
an arguable point.
But we sit there and argue and stuff, and we sit there and argue about the stuff that's in the media and stuff, and I go, and a lot of the things that we argue about is just like personal responsibility, And you know what? Personal responsibility is very like a Republican thing to say. And the Democratic thing is like, well, the government should fucking fix it and stuff, right? And I go, well, it fucking starts from the home. Like, fucking vote, fucking be good, raise your kids right. Yeah. That way it doesn't go out, it doesn't leak into society and stuff. But actually, in the media, if I were to say that, it would actually be more of a conservative thing for me to say. It's a very. Well,
why is there got to be one side or the other? And I don't
But I actually, I agree. It's like, you know what? There's a lot of people in this world that might see these things, and I've actually had conversations with people that I would actually think, because I know where you stand politically, I think I know what you're going to say. And then people will shock me and go, no, that's not what I think. Yeah. They actually go, I actually think this way, you know? But,
all right. So before we end, I'm going to bring 2 points. Mm-hmm. Because of Trump, now I can appreciate part of the Republican Party ideology. Mm-hmm. Because the Republicans have become 2 parties. There's the conservative Republicans and Trump Republicans.
Crazy. He's right. He really is. Because I know, again, at work, I know those people. There's those very conservative Republicans, and there's those that are like, no, I don't agree with everything that Trump is doing. I think he's a
Say that again, though, Lalo. Go ahead.
So it's going to become... the Republican Party is going to become 2 different parties. You have the conservative Republican Party, which is the one that we used to criticize, which now, because of the comparison, is like, wow, now
it could get that much worse.
I can actually appreciate.
So there's something that we can't think.
Yeah, let him finish.
I can appreciate something of the Republican Party that I didn't like before before Trump came, right? And that was my first point. The second point is, earlier you said that you caught your dad watching wrestling.
Right.
I don't know why, but it brought me back to the first time I caught my dad watching porn.